and we're gonna head over straight to Emirates. I was back in the Emirates today. It was good to be back. Just missed that whole
Was that
match
before
day.
the game started, man? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, my guy. You know that. You know that. You know that. You gotta get your time, Jake. All right. So let me have my time first. But yeah, man, good to be back. Good to see the fans. Full capacity. Chelsea fans were there singing it large, of course. What were they saying? They love that one. Champions of Europe, you never be that. Yeah, that one we just have to be silent and say, yeah, we firm it. We firm it.
Stay Pim.
Bro. But as always, my team just come and disappoint me again. As Arsenal got defeated by Chelsea. I mean, it could have been a cricket score, but Chelsea came winners, 2-0 winners, sorry. And boy, Lukaku, I mean, it was written, wasn't it, boys? We all knew it was going to bag.
I expected 4-piece, man.
Really? From Lukaku or from Chelsea?
Pretty disappointed. From Lukaku himself.
And Andy, I kind of agree with you because, yeah, and Charles just said there could have been. Like, I felt today, every time Chelsea attacked, we were going to concede. So how we left the game 2-0, I don't know. Shout out Reece James as well. I've not seen the highlights, of course, but it looked like a good finish. From obviously we see it once. But you know, Arsenal had their chances as well. We just failed to finish as per usual. And let me go into Arteta because I mean there was booing at half time. And booing after the full time. But you know, I think this is now coming down to manager. And as I've said, and I'll keep saying this whole season, this is it for Arteta. This is make or break. I mean, this is now his second full season. He's had enough time. I think Andy, you were saying this as well. We can't be. Do you know what it is as well, guys?
And enough peace.
Yeah, we lost to Brentford. We shouldn't have lost, but now there's these games against City and Chelsea. Of course, now we've just lost. Maybe last season we may have said, "Oh yeah, it's fine." I mean, if Arsenal lose those games, it's fine. Arteta is still finding his squad, but I'm sorry, we cannot be having that mentality now this season when we're going to play the big teams and think, oh wait, no, we're gonna lose. We shouldn't be leaving with any points because I think we lost to City away last year, but I think we beat Chelsea at home. But obviously, there's no fans, and you would have thought the fans made a difference today, but the team just disappointed us. So,
do you actually believe though that like he's done out? If like, when do you believe? Like,
unfortunately, I mean, as a fan, Char, I feel like he's done. But as this whole process that's going in place with Edu,
yeah, this is my point.
If they're signing all the guards, you've seen them doing their pictures. It's obviously he's going to be there long term, but there comes a point where you can just accept that this is not good enough. You can't keep him in the job just because it's a process. He's not delivering. I would like to know what they're. Do you know what? Yeah, I would love to know what the board have set Arteta as in expectations, because obviously we all know that happens in each club. Like there is minimum requirements, and we let go of Emery in November. Well, after his second season, so technically this is Arteta's second season. So let's see where we are in November. Like we're gonna go into that international break with 0 points.
I can tell you for free, he's already doing way worse than him. Yes, he's got the trophies, but he's doing way worse than him, in my opinion.
Facts on facts.
Go on, Andy.
Yeah, I think we have to be honest with ourselves. I mean, what's his name? Char, to be honest, he said this last season, and we laughed at him, but. Arsenal, I don't know if you guys are like a top club anymore. Like it's exactly what you said, that you shouldn't go to a City, a Chelsea, and maybe on paper there are a stronger team, but Arsenal shouldn't feel like we're gonna lose this game. Arsenal shouldn't feel nervous or unsure about a game v Brentford. That just shows you that Arsenal, we're not talking about the same Arsenal again, and this is only in the period of Arteta in Arteta's reign, because when Char was saying it, we were all telling him he was capping because you guys won the trophies, you beat the big teams, but now it's just looking. I'm thinking like Emery shouldn't have even been sacked if you're going for this or settling for this.
It was always papering over the cracks, man. I feel like that's a consistent thing that we've been saying for a few seasons now. Like, yes, the trophies have been there. Yes, you've had some notable victories along the way, but it's all papering over the cracks. The issues are still there. And I feel like we're no longer, or Arsenal are no longer at the point where they can continue to do that. And it's now coming to the surface.
And you know what's mad of where like as a whole, let's say non-Arsenal fans, we used to laugh at Wenger about the top four thing. Arsenal fans, Munya especially, would you trade that back for what you're seeing now? Like you trade in those, whatever, that FA Cup for consistent top four finishes, which Wenger achieved?
I'm just being competitive.
That's competitive, isn't it? Top
Yeah,
four.
like-
He was top four.
Nah, let him answer. Let him
He's
answer.
Top
Let him
four
answer.
Champions League every year. Would you have that, or would you have this right now? Of where they've got the FA Cup, so Arsenal fans can go, yeah, we won the FA Cup, whatever, 2020, but they're not competitive. No one's shook of going to the carpet. No one's shook of playing Arsenal anymore.
What are you saying? Would I rather have like a few FA Cups? So let's say if we were to win the FA Cup this season, but don't finish in top four.
Or that Wenger period of no cups, but you were getting top four consistently and playing Champions League consistently.
No, but the thing is though, it's a hard one.
It's rocking a hard place, but
even with Wenger's time, yeah, top four was all nice. But what were we doing in the Champions League? We weren't really doing anything in the Champions League. Like we were just filling up the numbers.
No, but I think with Wenger's time, you knew you're coming to, even though like Arsenal weren't at their peak of their powers, you know you're coming to Emirates and getting a game.
I mean,
Facts.
there's only one person we need to hear this from, and that's our boy Toast. Because I need to hear from him, Toast, because I've got nothing left.
Yeah, I can't lie, bro.
I don't have the capacity.
Hey, it was a tough watch, man. Honestly, like Chelsea, they strolled from start to finish, and honestly, like just throughout the course of the game, it kind of reminded me of like, you know, those viral videos like in China where there's like 10 men and they're facing like 100 kids on the pitch and they're still like just passing it, knocking it about. That's just how I felt the game was. Like I feel as if Arsenal in 2021, we're not actually competitive in these big games. I mean, I don't feel as if there were many Chelsea fans who actually went into the game thinking, you know what, we should lose this. And if they did, the only reason they would have felt like that is because I think we've been Chelsea's bogey team in inverted quotes for like the past couple of years. But again, like for me, I think it's just two things. Like for starters, like the quality of the players, man, it's just not acceptable, man. Like there's no way that you can justify Arsenal spending more than United, Liverpool, and City this summer, like combined in the transfer window, and our squad's still looking like this. So as well as just the players not being up to standard, for me, it has to fall on Arteta, man. Like I'm sorry, like I have not seen him improve a single player in his tenure at the club. And at the end of the day, like it's all well and good spending 50 million or 60 million here. Sometimes you might get it right. Sometimes you're going to get a bust. But if you're not actually improving the players that you have, if you're not actually imposing a system that players can play in, it like nothing's gonna change, man. And for me, like it's not competitive football anymore, man. And I think Arsenal fans need to accept that when we're not going to be competitive for a long time until something gives. Like Arteta has to go. I said it before. Like he shouldn't have started the season. He didn't deserve to start the season based on our lack of progress last year. And it's the same stuff. Like I mean, you go into the Brentford game, you're not even sure if you can beat a team that's just got promoted from the Championship. This was their first ever Premier League game, and same story today, man. Like I mean. I could speak all day on Pablo Mari, but if you're telling me that William Saliba is not better than what we have right now at centre,
that is so baffling, man.
I do not know, man. I'm just sad. I'm upset. Yeah, I'm just heartbroken, honestly, man. Like the state of the club right now, it's just, and man, Etihad next, so yeah, man, 3 points there, obviously.
Mazza.
All right, I think it's time to hear from the man himself, Weisenberg. It's time for you to shine, bro. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. No, like obviously Arsenal have been our bogey team for years now. Like I read up on it, and since Conte first started, we've played Arsenal some like 15 times and we've won 4 games. Like it's a pathetic record. And it was the same exact thing last season, like both games against Arsenal, home and away. We were the better team, better informed team, and we managed to lose both games, despite dominating both games, really. So then this game, I was sat there like, right, there's literally no way we can lose, right? Like, Arsenal are shit. We've got Lukaku coming into the team. Like, we can't lose. And then I think, like, Smith Rowe had a shot within, like, the first minute or two, and I was like, they just went through us quite quickly there. Is it really going to be that type of game? And then I saw Lukaku versus Mari. And I was always told as a child not to bully. And yet on live TV, I'm seeing Lukaku bully Pablo Mari.
So
victimization, man.
It was actually so deep.
Like,
Lukaku came out and said he was dominant today. He used the word dominant.
I mean, he was like, Pablo Mari has to go home now and look his kids in the eye. Like,
they locked up the door, Joe. You're not coming in today.
Stay outside.
Yeah, we'll slide your supper under the door.
You don't deserve no supper after that performance, man. He was shocking.
He was. To say it was a man against boy is unfair to little boys around the world.
Jake, do you remember when you were little and it was basically like year sevens versus year 11, and the year 11 like pins the year 7, and they're like, bro, no, but that's facts. The tricep he kept getting was actually
it was over and over again.
Mad.
I haven't actually seen that sort of striker's performance against a defender in a long time. I can't lie.
But like you said, Char, he would have found so much more success if he was technically a little bit more sound than Lukaku.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of times where he could have just done it, rolled, bang, shoot it immediately. But
like, the thing is for me, like that reminded me so much of Drogba against Arsenal.
Yeah,
and we all know Drogba's record against Arsenal. Like he was giving anxiety attacks to their centre backs. Like that is what I think Mari was having. Like it was just like, oh shit, here we go again.
Yeah.
That is what it was every time.
Jake, do you think how do I say this? Do you think like Lukaku was the actual difference in that game?
Yeah,
it was too. It looked that way to me as well. Like he was.
I agree.
They played through him, absolutely.
Yeah. The move that worked all the time was either Kovacic or Jorginho would fire the ball into Lukaku, who had pinned Mari. He would lay it off to either Mount or Havertz, who would pass it out right to Reece James, and Reece James had the freedom of North London.
Literally.
That was all it was. That's all it was, and. It was the fact. Like, I think I was reading it up on the end of the game. Lukaku, 95% pass accuracy, and he could have one or like 2 or 3 touches. Like he could get it out of his feet and make the right call, and he was just absolutely fantastic. And you could see like at corners, just in general play, like he's always talking. Like he's always saying to the guys now, like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Like play it into there. This is where I want it."
Yeah,
and he was an absolute menace. Like
that Lukaku Mount partnership.
Watch it.
If they clock it properly, it's going to be long.
Jay, do you know what I found baffling as well from Arteta? And maybe it's too simplistic, but like you said, the easy pass was like Jorginho, Kovacic, like a little revert.
Exactly. Thank you, Kenna.
You're so mad.
Thank you, Kenna.
I was watching the game thinking, come on, man, please.
Bro, that's so simple.
At what point, like maybe like from the touchline or even at half time, do you say, you know what, lads? This ball is coming into Lukaku's team every time. Like it happened for 90 minutes, and this is how I know there's no coaching going on at Arsenal.
It's
how is that ball not been cut out after the first couple of tries? Like Mari he's fighting for his life out there. Like and he didn't get in front of Lukaku once.
No once.
Come on, man.
Yeah, my big point was that
he did once in the second half. Sorry. Continue.
No, my big point was that so our front three somehow managed to outnumber their 2 centre backs and 2 centre mids. That's what it felt like to me, is that Havertz, Mount and Lukaku somehow, some way, whether it's their position in linker play, whatever, it always felt like they had the extra man against Holding, Mari, Zambi and Xhaka.
I'll tell you what I think it was though. I think from what I could see, your 2 wing backs stayed so wide. So basically Tierney and who was their right back? Cedric. They didn't know whether either to tuck in or go wider. So then that's created that little box in the middle with the players that you just mentioned.
You know what, Char? I mean, sorry, just to cut you there. To be honest, again, for me, like I actually felt as if some of our like attacking players, so like Pepe and Saka, we actually needed them to actually do more of a defensive job because Tierney had to come in field so many times, and Reece James had the freedom of the earth. And I'm looking at where Saka is on that wing, and he's basically just halfway up the pitch. Like, I mean, it's about being accountable to your teammates as well.
But we say this, but in the same breath, exactly what you said, Chad, where everyone's kind of tucked in, right? And everyone's in field. But how is then Lukaku, Mount, and Havertz still finding space if everyone's on the inside?
Because Xhaka wasn't pressing enough. Simple.
The midfield, who was Arsenal?
Xhaka wasn't doing anything.
Congo and Xhaka.
And an ESR as well.
Yeah.
He has to be part of that as well because he wasn't pressing Kovacic and Jorginho.
It has to be a collective effort.
So easy.
Kovacic, looks
so
like
easy.
Perlo.
Bro, Kovacic on his day, yeah? World class, man.
I think this is what it just stems down to when I was just watching it. At one point, Jake, I just looked at this and Chelsea were just balling in front of my eyes. So I just want to throw some flowers to Tuchel because he set you guys up so perfectly today. Because like you said, we had that. Arsenal had a good start, as you mentioned. We were like getting a shot aways very early on, but just the game management from him is just like it was incredible for you guys just to see out this game.
I was reading something just after the game actually, and obviously now they got Lukaku, they've got that figurehead now. But I think Chelsea probably as like the top clubs, your Cities, have obviously they have their standout players. Obviously Liverpool have got Salah, Mane. But Chelsea, I feel like as a functional group set of players, they all, especially since Tuchel's been a part of the team, he's
improved a lot of players.
Bro, they all played to a level where it's almost like it's routine to them now. Like they know exactly what they're about to do.
But one of my boys, obviously one of my favorite Chelsea players, and I think I've told you this before, Jake, is Marcos Alonso. So what is Chilwell not going to look in now?
I don't think so. I think for me, I would still play Chilwell more. But Alonso at left wing back, I've always said this, at left wing back is a different animal. At left back, he's disgusting. He is a horrible, horrible left back. But at left wing back, he is just so he is so much better. I think Chilwell is still the first choice. It is a bit of a weird one that he hasn't played yet, especially because at the Euros he didn't even touch the pitch. So considering that Mount got rushed back, Jorginho and Kante already playing 90 minutes a game, etc., for him to have not touched the pitch is probably a bit worrying for him, but it was the same as when Tuchel first came in.
About to say, that's what
Jake,
happened.
Jake, and you know what's mad? Between Alonso and Chilwell, it's margins because if you swap Chilwell in, you're not losing. You're not losing anything. So it's mad. It's mad. But I think, like I've said, Lukaku is almost the final piece which Chelsea needed, in my opinion, to be a genuine title challenger, and they've got him, man.
I mean, that bullying of Sambi at the 75th minute where he literally shoved him off and Sambi had to go for a rugby tackle.
Now I'm going to have to stop you there, okay? Like Sambi, what I saw today, by the way, I forgot to mention, I want to give him some little small flowers because I can see there's a lot of...
Desire, man.
There's a player.
Desire.
Yeah.
He was the only one.
For sure. 100%.
He was the only one that tried, man.
I did see something today. I thought, you know what? We need to look after him. Just like Saka, Smith Rowe, there are players there that could potentially give something to this club. And whether this process, however long it's going to take, I think Sambi is going to be a quality signing for us. Just look after him. I think because of Partey not being there, he's probably going to get more game time. But
so what will it be when Partey gets back?
I'd rather have Partey and him at this point because he just looks so... Bro, this... Obviously, he's still very young and he needs to adapt, but he's shown a lot of potential.
Yeah, no, he looks good, to be fair.
Yeah.
He looks good.
But yeah, so shout out Chelsea, man. Good 3 points, dub. Arsenal back-to-back L's, and then now Man City coming up. It's going to be
0 out of 3.
Yeah, before the international break. So it's going to be very, very important for Arteta. Whoever doesn't go international break to sort them out.